Have you noticed that lately every single person on the internet seems to know how to live life? And they have the answer for everything everywhere. And have you been like, wow, that's really cool, but I am not there at all? I've been thinking about this as I'm in my early 20s. Wow. I never thought I would say this. I'm 21. I'm gonna be 21 this year, and I am in my early 20s, which is so crazy to say. To just realize. I've been thinking a lot about how, even as a societal expectation, when you enter adulthood, quote unquote, you are supposed to have everything figured out. I mean, that's what people think of you. That's how people perceive you as you are navigating your 20s. That, oh my god, this girl looks so put together. She seemed to have everything figured out. And wow, how amazing is that for her? But in all honesty, I mean, I've been giving comments like these when they look at me and I dress up all nice and I have my makeup and in class I speak up and everything, that some people said that you look so put together all the time. Like, how can you do this? And I'm just like, no, girl, this is not me. This is just a mask that I put on for a show, because the game must go on and we must perform in order to progress in this life, in order to achieve higher things or get to the point where we are at, or we should be at in our heads. Usually my content really is about like very positive things and very encouraging things, and I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna draw a conclusion at the end of this video trying to encourage everyone who is in a similar situation as I am right now. But in all honesty, I think that we should also encourage others to explore life and not have everything figured out, because what is life without failures and mistakes and mishaps? If you don't have anything to learn from, you will never learn. You will never grow into the person you are meant to be. And our early 20s should be about exploration and seeking life experiences rather than acting like everything is already figured out. In the past month, I haven't been doing good in my own mental, spiritual life. I've neglected a lot of my routines that I used to do, which is yoga and meditation and stuff like that. I couldn't make myself do them because I was so exhausted from everything going on. There are a lot of things happening in my life, not only university, but also having to find internships or a potential job, and also keeping up with people in my social life, which all of these sound like a lot. I also love them so much because they allow me to find more people to connect with and feel more like I'm part of something, which is all amazing and all such a gift. However, it also has downsides. At some point, you get tired and you get so energetically drained. One of the most painful things to accept is all of this. Like, I am 21. I'm not supposed to have everything figured out. I'm supposed to be jumping between things constantly, and I'm supposed to be filled with energy. Let's be honest. If you are around the same age as I am, or even a little bit older or younger, this isn't meant to be a discouragement. It's just, I think, a general trend in our youth right now, or even back then it was like that. As you transition from a general young mindset, as you transition from being very careless and knowing that you always have someone to depend on, let that be your friends, partner, or parents. Now you find yourself completely in a new situation where you kind of have to build up a really strong relationship with yourself, because no one is going to come to save you. You cannot run back to your mom and cry in her laps anymore. You need to take it very seriously, because your future is in question. There's this separation between your younger self, who just wants to go out with people all the time and have fun and do all the crazy shit. And then on the other hand, there's this really mature person that needs to stand up and be like, I need to either go out and lose a really good opportunity, or I go for the opportunity, but that means I'm having less fun. And so there's always this war in our heads of what should we do that is beneficial for us, but also it's good for us. And sometimes we might end up choosing the wrong things, and how do we recover from that, and all of the things in between. I remember going on a date with this guy who asked me, he was a bit older than me, he asked me, so what am I planning in the future? I think he was asking me something regarding master's degree, and I was like, I cannot think of this yet. I mean, I have ideas in my mind, but in my head, it was like, darling, sometimes I don't even know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast, or if I'm gonna be alive by the next day. This period in my life, in our lives, is really pushing us to stay in the present, and the only thing we can truly focus on is that, because we never know what tomorrow will bring. All we know is we have certain responsibilities that we need to attend to, while we also want to keep on going and having fun. And of course, each and every one of us comes from a different life setting, and our experiences, although could be commonly the same, they are extremely different, and each and every one of us struggle with different aspects of what it means to basically create a new life for yourself. As you detach from your parents, maybe you move away for university, and you don't really have a lot of people that you know in that new city, and you gotta build it up all by yourself. Yes, you jump into a community that is maybe your student colleagues, and that is just one aspect, but you might want something more, and then you need to push yourself to get into new communities and make friends and be someone that you like as well, but others do. So there's also this issue around forming our identity. How much is our identity based around what others might think of us? Or how can we actually start to give no fucks and choose for ourselves? But then some people might fall out from our friend group, and we might get lonely again. It truly does feel like a game. It truly does look like a game. So as you are navigating this world of new experiences and new people, you also jump into a huge pool of expectations, not only by others from you, but from yourself. And these expectations that you have of yourself might be totally influenced by how others around you live. Or it could be just something that you wish to do for yourself. And I would say that, coming from my experience, we tend to overcomplicate things in our head so many times that we do not even realize that we're doing it. And this overcomplication can cause us to always account for things in our head. The reason I also came home was because all of it started to be a bit too much. And I really started to lose sight of what is truly important for me. I started to lose sight of what I want to do and where I want to be. But the thing is, I don't know. And that's what is also quite upsetting, that I don't know what I want. I don't want to fail. But at some point, I need to accept that failure is a part of life. It's natural. So, if we say that all of these experiences that we're having and this uncertainty of our future really causes us to stay in the present and really focus on what comes next, not what comes in 2 months or in 2 years. But how can we stay cool with all of this? How can we just be calm and chilled and know that things will eventually figure themselves out? Is that even possible to do? Because so many times I pretended like I don't care, but I actually do. So many times I try to push away my feelings by doing so many distracting activities, from browsing social media to going out and not caring. And then when I get a few minutes of silence to myself, all the thoughts and emotions regarding my future seems to reappear, and it really feels like it's about to consume me, because I've been pushing it away for so long that all of that builds up and it just explodes. So besides our future being uncertain, there's also the question of belonging and friendship. In my case, I live alone. So for me, it was really important from the time I moved up to the big city to find people in my life that I can relate to and I can be friends with. And I usually like to invite them up to my apartment to hang out or something. And it is also quite annoying sometimes that I can't do that as often because I have other things to do as well. How can we build friendships and nurture them without totally feeling like we are getting consumed by it? We need to take off this seriosity and we need to focus on the simplicity of it. We need to focus on the little moments and appreciate those. Become more friendlier. How can we initiate conversations? I've been in so many circumstances where I see that so many of us, as a defense mechanism, revert to using our phone in social situations instead of garnering the courage to go up to someone and introduce ourselves. It's become so normal to just be on your phone even when you're outside by yourself. It's just constantly head shut down and looking at the freaking screen and totally pushing reality away. Even though we are, because of all the uncertainty around us, pushed to stay in the present, we are so afraid of it that we cannot accept it. We cannot let our minds and souls and bodies to rest in the present reality. We immediately jump to something that takes us out of it altogether, but makes us feel even worse. Because when you go up on your Instagram, what do you see? Some of your friends hanging out with other people, having the best times of their life. Your influencers that you follow going on expensive trips, or just random people talking about how life is so beautiful in their lives, and you are sitting in your apartment or just in public by yourself, and all you have is that. And what is also crazy is that we forget our own Instagram reels. We forget that when we go to an event, it's just like that. But because it's us who experiences it and no one takes a picture of it, and it's not posted out there, it is not considered to be that. Because when we live it, it never comes across as when others do. It's just like with your mom's cooking, right? Like whenever my mom does it, it always tastes better than when I do it. It's the same thing. Because we look so much for outside validation and just trying to catch that unattainable feeling, which those people who take that picture, I don't know what they have in their mind at the time, but I'm sure that they have those times when they feel the same as we do in those moments when we immerse ourselves into our screen and those unrealistic situations. Each and every one of us have it, because we always want something that we do not have, or that we think we do not have, that we think we lack. But all it would take is truly to just sit and take a deep breath and look around and try to just list a few things that you're grateful for, that you think that give meaning to your life. And I've realized this so many times that it just really took me a few minutes to stay away from distractions, to realize that what I have in that moment is just enough. To stay present should be a gift, but so many things are going on and we feel like we need to focus on so many things that it truly shatters our attention into a million pieces of little shards, and we cannot see the whole picture. Everything is distorted because of all of this separation that is going on. Well, this was my rant, my trying to find meaning in all of this that is happening. It is quite difficult to be this vulnerable, even with myself sometimes. And I could become even more vulnerable, but I don't think that people truly need these very deep life experiences to be able to relate. If I was generalizing in some aspects, is because I think there's this general trend of social anxiety and this need to perform and be productive all the time and always do something with your life. These have become such prevalent issues in today's day and age that we need to find another way to live, a new possibility, something that gives us meaning, gives us fulfillment and excitement and joy. And it shouldn't always be about worrying about the future, about even our present. It shouldn't be about worrying what comes next, or how this is going to turn out, or will I be punished if I do something wrong. We have so many opportunities, but also we feel like we are so limited and so encaged into our own reality that we totally lose sight of what truly matters for us. And that is different to each and every one of us, each and every person, and we should try to figure that out for ourselves. And if that means that we need to break certain social stereotypes, certain social expectations, then we should be courageous enough to do that, because right now we only have this one life. This is what we have, and this is what we need to work with. And if for just 1 second you could close your eyes and imagine what you truly want from your life, without the expectations coming from others, without the expectations coming from yourself, without all of those shattered thoughts and other people's be-reals, what is it that you truly want? What is it that you truly desire that is truly gonna give you fulfillment? And start building your life from that place, from that idea, start constructing and walking the path of that new world, of that new possibility that you've just created in your mind. Do not focus on anything that is coming out from outside. Keep the noise away. Just focus on what you truly want, what is truly going to bring you joy and excitement in your life and fulfillment, and what is going to truly push you to the highest point possible. Well, with that said, thank you, magical people, for being here. This was again another rant chit chat. I am sure I'm not alone in feeling this, so I hope I could help others relate and help others feel that they're not alone in this at all, because you are not alone in all of these things that you're feeling. This is totally normal, and we should all be vulnerable and open to discussing these issues that we're facing and not trying to pretend that we are good all the time. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Hopefully something a little bit more upbeat and a little bit more fancy. But for now, this is all I have for you, so I hope you enjoyed.